Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where y'all are seeing this. You're definitely seeing it live on Twitch. I appreciate y'all guys being here. You're definitely seeing it on Patreon as well. And if you're seeing it on YouTube, that means this shit bangs so hard that it changed my mind about making it a Patreon exclusive, because that's what everybody is saying, is that it bangs like crazy. Lil Yachty, I've always been impressed. I've always been a fan of Lil Yachty. He's definitely, how would I say, like, what is Lil Yachty? He's probably my favorite out of Young Thug, Lil Yachty, and Lil Uzi Vert. Like, those are the three that I associate with each other for some reason, like the time that they were on their come up. He's probably the one that I would, if anybody is gonna do something different in terms of sound and it bang completely different than what I expect, if I had to put my bet on somebody, I'm betting on Yachty. I know that they all do it and they all do it well, but we're gonna see what Yachty does right here. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, follow us over on Twitch where we do this live, as you can tell. Also, follow us over on Patreon. This is the kind of thing that you would get exclusive. But I might be saying all that for no reason, because this might be on Patreon and Twitch only. Either way, guys, follow our second channel, !second in chat if y'all guys are here live. But if you're on Patreon or YouTube, we have a second channel, third link in the description. It's all reactions to comedy, commentary, political, all these kind of different things. It's gonna be a more diverse channel than this one is, and you'll probably end up liking that one more if you're willing to take a step in that direction. But other than that, Lil Yachty, let's start here. Album review, track number 1, 14 tracks, 57 minutes. Not a bad little run. I mean, that means some of these tracks are mad long, so we'll see where we go. I took the walk to Poland. I took the walk to Poland. A black Seminole. This shit sounds like trippy 70s music, bro. This is a fucking vibe already. But his head's way in the sky. Hey, yo, this is a banger. Bro, it's like Jimi Hendrix, The Weeknd, and Daft Punk all came together and birthed this version of Lil Yachty. Lil Yachty might be in the GOAT conversation if the whole album is like this. And maybe not like GOAT of all time, but definitely GOAT of his generation. Can anybody off the top of the dome name another rapper who has done this? I'm not trying to hype Yachty saying that. I'm legitimately asking. Tyler, there you go. That's what I was thinking of. Let that motherfucker cry then, dog. And then we slow down half tempo on the drum. On the kit. This whole outro right here is giving me serious Pyramids vibes by Frank Ocean. Hey, yo, I was not ready. Oh, we're only halfway through the... Bro, we're only halfway through the song? Why did I think that was the outro? That's why I was talking about outro the whole time. That's impressive to say that, at least for me to say that this reminds me of the Pyramids outro, because the Pyramids outro was John Mayer, who is arguably one of the greatest guitarists of all time. I do like the little peeking up of the synth, like right there. I can hear Tame Impala too, now that y'all mentioned that. MGMT type shit too. Is that him on the vocals? Nah, it's not him. It's a girl, right? Oh, the drums are so fire. I'll give you a pat on the back or GG's if you tell me what album I'm thinking of. Down to the song I'm thinking of, if you can tell me. Oh. That stutter and the static is hard. Lil Bo going crazy. First track out of 14. Nobody got it right, so I'm gonna GG's myself. Awaken My Love, guys. Come on now. Specifically, this song. All right, that was the Black Seminole 10 out of 10 intro. 7-minute intro, by the way, the longest track on the album. Deservedly so. Like, it's one thing to introduce us to an entire sound that nobody was ready for, but it's another thing to introduce us and then also say at the same time, I'm gonna let this bitch breathe real quick. And it only got better as the song got. Do you realize how bold of a decision that is? To not only completely shift in sound, but then the first track on that new shift, you decide to make the longest track on the album at 7 minutes. That is a confident move, and it paid off. Track number 2, The Ride, which is Drake featuring The Weeknd. That's a hard bar too. Hey YouTube, what up? You could thank Yachty for this even making the channel. I was wary at first, but we're halfway through the second song, and there's no way that this isn't going on YouTube. Holy shit. Follow us over on Patreon and Twitch and the third channel, like I said at the beginning. Second channel, third link. I'm feeling T, riding on E, a shopping spree may feel the V as in void. That's so hard, bro. So Suicide Boy style. I mean, obviously not as aggressive, but like the multiple voice stacks. So it sounds like they're chanting it at you. I know it's only the end of January, but I'm expecting this is going to be in the top 10 albums of the year. Unless 10 other albums come out that are better and more surprising than this. But this whole part sounds like Suicide Boys. In a good way. Bro, the rhyme scheme is fire. Hard, bro. Ooh, man, that is a gorgeous song, bro. The vocals work fine for me. I can see how people might say that, like, you know, maybe it's not as strong vocally as it should be for that type of track, but I think it's fire. I don't always want. All right, for those of you that are like into cameras and into like photography, this analogy is going to make sense to you, but I'm going to try to make it make sense to everybody. Cameras these days, they're almost too perfect. If I go and buy, which I'm going to this year for the studio, I'm going to buy an A7 IV, which is a Sony. It has perfect eye focus, perfect facial tracking, animal eye tracking. You don't have to do anything to a photograph for that photograph to be taken perfectly. But then there's like an art that's lost whenever the camera does everything for you. Like there's a certain art that goes with making a photo versus taking a picture. So I think that's the same whenever the vocals are too good. I'm not here to listen to Lil Yachty have the vocal prowess of Adele. I'm here to hear Lil Yachty's imperfections in his vocals that are going to make the album unique. Obviously, that's not going to be the strongest singing performance of all time, but it's solid. It goes with the vibe. If I wanted to hear perfect acid rap or acid rock style, I would go listen to Pink Floyd. I'm here to listen to Lil Yachty attempt this style of music. So I don't mind the vocals. All right, next up, we're 2 for 2, running out of time. That bass line is going crazy. Orion, that phrase makes no sense. Why can't fruit be compared? These bitches don't know about Pangea. Watch it, girl. Ooh, that synth is crazy. The synth sounds like a fucking UFO that's taking somebody off the ground. You know, like woo, 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 that type of shit. It's like in Galaga when you get the ship taken, and then you gotta get the side-by-side dual ships. The vocal processing so far has been fantastic. It's so funky. It sounds like the type of production that the Whispers would go on. Fire, bro. There's like literally nothing for me to say. So sexy, bro.
Come bust this pussy open.
Hey, yo! Hey, yo, what the fuck? I mean, it's a solid track, bro. The album bangs. The album bangs. Imagine you conceiving a child, a little boat. Hey, son. Come check out the song You Were Made To by Lil Boat. Dad, how did the stork come? Was it The Weeknd? Nope. Was it Michael Jackson? Nope. It was Lil Yachty.
Walk up on the right side, I feel so pretty. Kiss my girl on her thighs, grab on her titties. I know that they despise, I feel so sexy.
I fuck with this energy hard. Pause.
So pretty.
Ooh, that double hit right there. That's hard right there. That's fire. Bro, this is fucking hard. The swagger in that one was out of control, bro. Music made me lose control. I'm surprised, I think is what it is the most. I'm surprised at the change in direction in terms of like the sound of his music on this album, but I'm also surprised at how well he's pulling it off. There hasn't been a single moment on any of these songs yet where I'm like, oh, that didn't really work. Everything's working for me. It's gonna be in top 10 albums of the year. This is a good way to start 2023 when I thought that we were gonna have dry ass music this year, but this is a good way to say like, hey, we're still coming with bangers in 2023.
I've seen failure a few times. More recently than before, actually. Some people can't feel what they haven't seen. It's up to me to fix or deal with them, you know? No matter what, I mean, it could be worse, you know?
It's a very mature way of looking at the world and looking at situations. Mad mature. I feel like Yachty's always been like on the mature side. Like when I listen to interviews of his or when I like listen to him speak, he speaks very eloquently and with like purpose and diction and direction. And I don't know, he's just not like some leaned out fucking Lil something rapper. Even more so after this album, I feel like he's an artist. He is legitimately cares about his craft. Pretty positive message, pretty calm way of looking at it. Like if you were someone who was going through some shit and you heard this, I'd be like, you know what? You're right, boat. You're right, tugboat. All right, The Zone. This is what Tyler did with Igor all over again. When I couldn't think of the name of the person because I was like in the middle of listening and trying to like take it all in. But yes, if there's any rapper that has done this successfully, it's either going to be Childish Gambino with Awaken My Love and Tyler with Igor. I kind of hope that Yachty stays on this. I'm just going to explore whatever ideas I have because that's how we get things like this.
I fears costumes that you wear. I see clear in the atmosphere. None of my peers were really there.
I could definitely hear like Kid Cudi in here. Just all the little production decisions that make up like the atmosphere of the song. So fire. The panning left to right on different atmospheric elements. Like that right there.
I never meant to make you feel alone.
This is probably the first song what I would say like I'll listen to it a couple of times, but it doesn't have the same me wanting to go back. It's because it has a very outro feel, even though it's midway through the album. Damn, bro, first off, the transitions on this album have been flawless. Yeah, the placement, and again, I always say placement matters for albums. If the placement's weird, it's not gonna hit. I might enjoy that song if it was at the very end. I might enjoy it way more, and I'd be like, oh, I'm more inclined to listen because it makes sense for where it's at in the album. It's almost like if Less Than Zero by The Weeknd, it's almost like if that track was track number 5. But yeah, not a bad song, but I do expect some of these to grow, like you said, because that one was a lot more instrumentation than it was actual Yachty. You know, like Yachty was the atmosphere for the album with vocals, but it almost like he wasn't the focal point, especially from the halfway mark to the end of the track. It was almost like it was all atmosphere and we were just there to vibe, which I don't mind. But those type of songs, they do take longer to get used to. Let's keep going. We saw the sun. Not me right now. It's gloomy as fuck outside, 37 degrees.
In the dark, my secrets hide.
I like the melody of his vocals right here.
You're done. Had a little too much fun. It don't get no better. Moments like this prove the truth.
I love the guitar in these tracks though. I fuck with this. This is what I feel like heroin and LSD feels like. Like the happy vibe you get from this. I enjoy the fact that he's credited on production for a lot of these tracks because that means he has a hand in the way that things sound. It sounds like It should be on the album soundtrack for Across the Universe. But yeah, definitely heavy Kid Cudi, heavy Awaken My Love, heavy Pink Floyd. This whole outro right here of this song is heavenly, bro. We still have a minute left. I feel drained in a good way is the perfect way of explaining it.
In the time you sat around worrying about it and trying to plan a painting, you could have completed the painting already.
Not Bob Ross.
Let it
Not the
happen.
GOAT. How the fuck did he clear that sample? Watching Bob Ross paint to this album is gotta be like an out-of-body experience. Bob Ross was the original TikTok artist. His videos were long-form TikToks. I'm like, damn, how does he make this shit look so easy, dog? What do you mean you just throw a little tree right there? My shit looks crooked. My shit looks like it belongs in fucking The Grinch Stole Christmas. 2 brush strokes and now there's a fucking waterfall? All while encouraging me and telling me that I can do it too. I don't even feel bad about my shit turning out fucked up and looking like I was gone off of a 12-pack of Bud Light while I was painting. I'm like, damn, my shit is a masterpiece because Bob said so. The GOAT, R.I.P. Ooh. That transition was crazy. I'm ready to go roller skate right now.
Not your life without me, it's a waste of time.
Whoa.
You want the kind of love that can make a child. Good love, fill my body up like a glass when you pour it all out. If you know me, you know I might. Someone like me is hard to find, no mistake.
It almost has Dancing Queen vibes, if I'm being honest, which is not a bad thing because that song is goated. You are a dancing queen, young and free, only 17. Am I at a cookout? Am I at a asada? I got necks on bones over there. Hey, you better bring your A game, bitch. Fleetwood Mac for sure.
They're well aware you are always mine, and still you seem so surprised.
Oh, the violin.
Always gonna be mine. I just can't
Sounds so good, bro.
Circling through life without a piece of you. 7 out of 7 days I'm needing you.
Ooh.
I cannot picture when you ride. I'm mistaken thinking you were taking, knowing that you were
Hey,
always
yo. The out-of-pocket flow right there was crazy.
mistaken thinking you were taking, knowing that you were always mine.
This might be my favorite shit on the album so far. Oh man, imagine Mac Miller was still alive, R.I.P. Imagine if he was still alive and he co-produced this hoe.
Rarely ever missing, talk is cheap and time is ticking. All these hoes get slaughtered, can't mind, pray tell the Father.
It really is so psychedelic and so like dreamy. That one was a ride. That was probably my favorite track so far outside of the how far are we in? We're 9 tracks out of 14, so that was technically a little we're a little bit halfway. A little bit past halfway. I'm about it, bro. Album of the year contender. I've officially lost my vision. Bro, the delay on the echo and his vocals is crazy.
Decisions with the chrome in my hand. Just know that my best I cannot feel.
This sounds so much darker than the rest of the album. This really does sound like a bad trip. Like if the rest of the album is like floating and we feel serene and we feel like out of body experience, this feels like we're going down the rabbit hole with Alice. It's not scary, but it's definitely could be a...
Save your tears for when you get old.
Who's this? Kind of sounds like Georgia Smith.
Bitches get low, I can go low. Vibrations is high, keep niggas on their toes.
See, now I feel like I'm floating.
I've officially lost vision.
Bro, it's like so like that was such a floating like bridge right there by her. And then we go right back into the bad trip of him. This track is all everywhere emotionally. This song is hard, bro. It's a nice track. And to be fair, a lot of these tracks are actually pretty short, like song length, like in terms of the actual song. This is almost like a minute-long outro and a 5-minute song, so it's really a 4-minute song. This is the type of part of a song where you would like skip whenever you're in shuffle. But if you're listening to the album in full, you would probably listen to the whole thing. Bro, the fucking transitions on this whole song are crazy. I mean, not the song, the whole album. That transition right there to this song is nuts. Bro, that's a crazy transition. Somebody said that this has a music video. Is that accurate? Let's see what we got. Bro, this music video fits the vibe of this album perfectly. Like with the just almost like lucid dream vibe of the video. This whole fit is giving me CeeLo Green vibes. Bro, this is such a trippy video. What the fuck is happening in this video? I couldn't imagine a more perfect video for this album. And the breaking apart into salt is nuts. It's literally like a bad lucid dream.
Don't ever in your life say that to me again. That shit just made me itch. What you talking about, love me?
What? That's why I brought you here. This is my favorite diner. You fucking kidding me right now?
Can't trust these hoes, bro. Take it from Lil Boat right here. Let Lil Boat's pain right here be a lesson for all of you. Definitely got Don FM vibes right here with his facial makeup. Oh, she ripped his heart out. It's too big for her. Bro, this fucking video, what's happening?
With a bitter taste of rejection in his mouth, a heavy-hearted man wondered why he simply just wasn't good enough. Only place he'll find those answers are within.
Director of photography went crazy right there. That's an amazing music video. It's an amazing album, to be honest, as well. This is one of the rare cases where the music video enhances the song. When I listen to the song in the future, I'm going to be thinking about the music video.
Baby, I'll paint the sky for you, baby. Just like that, brother. Just like that.
Bro, these transitions are so fucking flawless. I lie for you, baby. I die for you. I paint the sky for you, baby. And then transitions into Paint the Sky. This album's goated. It's going to be hard to beat this album because of how strong of a pivot it is for Lil Yachty. Like, no one was expecting this from Lil Yachty, and no one was expecting it to bang like it does. So that combination of not expecting it and also the quality, it's going to be a combination that's hard to beat.
It must go on. Feeling, falling, crying. I'm stalling for your love.
What's that one track by Dua Lipa from I Need You All Night? That's what it reminds me of.
You got me drinking, smoking.
Hey, yo. The Weeknd on this is a background vocalist or is a feature? The drum pattern reminds me a lot of what's Tory Lanez's 80s album, Alone at Prom. I rated harshly Tory Lanez's album when I first listened to it on stream because we were rating it against like modern music. Tory's Alone at Prom album is made to sound like it's from the 80s, so it's not going to sound technically as accurate, or like the mix is not going to be perfect because that's how 80s music was. After I got that mentality out of my head and I got it like, oh, he's going strictly for the retro, that's when I realized it was a solid album. Did you say that he wrote this song? Let me check. What's Tory Lanez's real name? So this is Daystar Peterson, Jeremiah Raisin, Justin Raisin, Miles McCullum, and Patrick Wimberly. Daystar's Tory Lanez? Okay, then there you go.
Am I not the one? Feeling, falling, crying. I'm stalling for your love.
It sounds so hypnotic, bro. So dreamy. This sounds like if I was looking at a painted sky sunset.
Drinking, smoking.
This is the transitional element to the next song, right? Bro, the transitions alone are crazy. Every song. That last track, I need you all night, starlight. Okay, so far, I would say Paint the Sky is probably my favorite track, especially coming off like the weirdness of the track before, Say Something, in terms of like heartbreak. And you know it's a good album because I know every time that I listen to this album, I'm gonna change my mind on which song that I like the most. Let's keep going. I kept on thinking he's saying prosciutto. Well, why are you talking about fucking bacon? Very less than zero vibes. Yeah, bro, this is nice right here. This part of the song is fire. Bro, that was a flawless transition. We're 6 seconds into the new song, if you didn't realize. Definitely a faster paced song. Not as emotion filled as the other songs have been. The faster paced nature also takes it out of like that psychedelic feel. It moves away from like the Pink Floyd psychedelic Kid Cudi vibe. And whenever it goes faster paced, it feels like it's more like in the MGMT vibe. How many more tracks do we have? 2 more? Let's get it.
It's a ride, but I know that I was built for this. I know now that most men would kill for this. Sucker.
Bro. The chords are so nice, bro. I'm curious how the last song on the album is going to sound, because this sounds like a last song type sound. This is easily one of the better songs on the album. It's like a 180 every minute of this song. That was a fire track, bro. That's one of the better ones on the album. This is the actual last song on the album. So let's see what this sounds like, because it's already not as high energy as the other one was, as the last one that we just listened to.
In the mirror, and what do I see? A 3-eyed man staring back at me.
Bro, there's no way it's him, right? It is Daniel Caesar.
Trying to fill that hole to reach the sunshine.
Bro.
Look on the dance floor, they're scheming. At first I didn't believe it.
Unclaimed, first time chatter. I couldn't even tell you either. I couldn't tell you what he said outside of reach for the sunshine and I'm a bad man. Outside of that, I was transcending, literally lost in the vibes. The chords on the piano to end right here, and then to end the album on this slow note like this, like we're on the come down from this psychedelic trip we just went on. Sounds very James Blake type closure. The sustained, bro, the sustained synth right there. Oh, man. That was an album, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of speechless, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't expect it to be that quality the entire time. It almost sounds like he's been doing this sound before. Imagine trying to go in to learn to play the piano and play Furlies for the first time by Beethoven. Like, you don't know what you're doing. It's going to take a gradual, got to learn to play chopsticks first, then got to learn to play canon, and then eventually you'll be at Moonlight Sonata movement number 3. But that's not what happened here. We went from traditional, what we expect from Yachty, to a straight 90-degree turn, straight right, and it's like he has it perfected. So it's almost scary to think about, like, what if he stays on this path, if he stays on this sound, what would it sound like in years to come if it already sounds this good? Yeah, I mean, there's a sense of pride that you feel for an artist like this. No one expects someone like Yachty, who makes a very specific style of rap, to go and just fully transition into this seriousness of this like psychedelic like soul sound. And to do it at like such a young age. Like if someone was like 35, 37, like Donald Glover, like Childish Gambino, like Drake, like, yeah, they're older at this point. They're also from a generation that grew up with this style of music, their parents, and listening to it. Like Yachty's younger, so he would have been a couple generations removed from this style of Pink Floyd type shit. He's only 25, exactly. He's only 25. Like, what does Lil Yachty know? What does a 25-year-old know about Pink Floyd? Like, your average 25-year-old doesn't know anything about this style of music. So to go and be not even just be the artist that puts it out, to be the artist, he has a hand in the production throughout most of these tracks. It's insane, bro. Insane level of artistry. You can't scoff at a rapper who's 25 who's making this style of music. It's just impossible. This is going to be, I mean, I know we're only in January, but definitely album of the year contender. 1 out of 10, probably like an 8.5. There was only one track, I think, where I was like, this doesn't make any sense on here. Not it doesn't make any sense, but there was one track where I was like, this sounds like an ending track. And because the ending is what it is, I almost prefer like that track was not on the album. Not saying that it's bad, but I feel like that track was like we hit a speed bump in the album. 8.5 easy. This is going to be album of the year contender. This is the album to beat. This is the album to beat so far in 2023.